Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
In just 2 days, Minnesota will see an increase in its minimum wage and changes to its drug and DUI laws. Good evening and thanks for joining us. About 16 new laws are about to go into effect. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop tells us about some of the new laws and what that means for you.
The Clay County Attorney's Office tells me they're still working to understand all the new laws. One of the new laws will loosen drug sentences for first-time offenders, while another will make it stricter to target drug dealers. Laws will get tougher for those who've had prior DUIs and end up killing someone in a crash. The maximum penalty will go from 10 years to 15. Minnesota, like North Dakota, will enforce what's called a revenge porn law. It means you can't send sexual photos or videos of someone like your ex to others without their permission. People could possibly face felony charges in certain situations. A stricter law will go into effect for crimes against police officers. Any bodily fluids transferred onto an officer will result in a felony. New laws accessing police body camera data will also go into effect. The law will clarify what is available to the public and what is private. Most data will be considered private, except in active cases regarding police force used resulting in bodily harm or the discharge of a weapon.
I don't think the public should have the right to people's private data. Yes, they can get a copy of the report when the report's done. Absolutely, read the report.
According to the new law, criminal investigation data will be kept for 1 year and other matters on the police cameras will be kept for 90 days. If you're visiting a hospital or a healthcare facility, all waiting rooms will be required to have closed captioning on their TVs as part of a new law. Another law will make it easier to get married in the land of 10,000 lakes. The state is eliminating their 5-day wait period between getting a marriage license and having your ceremony. In Moorhead, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
Another big change coming Monday will be minimum wage. People will see their hourly wage jump from $8 to $9.50 for large companies, and for small companies from $7.25 to $7.75. Starting in 2018, the wage will increase annually to match inflation. To see a full list of all the new laws, visit this story on valleynewslive.com. West Fargo police are investigating a case involving a minor in the popular app Snapchat. On July 6th, the man reported to police suspicious behavior on his account after he accepted a friend request from the user Olive359. That user asked for pictures of the man's ex-girlfriend for their own private collection, claiming they had nude photos of her when she was a minor. The person threatened to leak the nude photos if the man didn't send any back. West Fargo police are asking Snapchat to hand over the photos for their investigation. A former NDSU student is facing multiple charges after allegedly downloading child porn on campus. Talon Bitts of Bismarck is under investigation by the North Dakota BCI and could face up to 35 years in prison and up to $50,000 in fines. He's expected in Cass County Court on August 15th. Bradford Eric will have more on this story on Valley News Live at 6. A woman who was believed to be the person of interest in a Dilworth apartment fire is now being charged with arson. Kimberly Littleghost could face a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, a $20,000 fine, or both for a fire she's accused of starting on June 2nd. Surveillance video caught her entering the apartment building 15 minutes before the fire started and leaving 5 minutes after. That fire left one person without a home at the Tivoli Garden condos. One woman is facing 7 charges after leading police on a high-speed chase with 3 children in her car. Stacy Anavirnia could serve up to 8 years in prison if convicted. Along with being charged with child endangerment, Anna Varnina is charged with DUI, speeding, and fleeing a police officer. She blew a .149. That's nearly double the legal limit. In the car was another man, a 7-year-old, a 2-year-old, and an infant. The 3 children were taken to social services after Anna Vernia was taken into custody. The Minnesota State Patrol says a trooper tried to stop a car for speeding about 8:30 Wednesday night on I-94 near Barnesville. Anna Vernia was going 118 miles per hour and refused to pull over. Officers used stop sticks to stop her car just west of Downer. 4 Muslim inmates are suing the Cass County Jail for allegedly being secretly fed pork, according to a complaint filed in federal court. Ashley Hunter, the man charged with murder in the slayings of 2 men in North Fargo last summer, and Abdi Sahil, who was charged with simple assault, attempted kidnapping, terrorizing, and robbery, are 2 of the men named in the complaint. They say a corrections officer brought them labels and recipes from the jail's kitchen that listed pork products as ingredients in the inmates' meals. The complaint states that jail officials declared its meals were pork-free in November 2015. The inmates want a public apology for the jail staff connected to serving pork to Muslim inmates to be fired and $100 million. It's Friday, time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say Valeria Dita is wanted for a felony count of forgery or counterfeiting and a felony probation violation. Now be sure to call your local law enforcement if you have any information on Dita. Moorhead Police welcomes 3 new officers. Andy Work, AJ Shaley, and Taylor Huss were sworn in at a ceremony today. Family and friends attended to join them for the honor. With all of the recent police shootings and violence towards law enforcement, the new officers say they are aware of the risks.
There's always that fear, you never know what's going to happen on a call, but knowing that I have those partners and that I always have backup is great. I wouldn't trust anybody else more than I do my fellow partners in Moorhead.
With many area police units seemingly short-handed, the new addition of 3 new officers gives the area a much-needed boost of police protection. Another dry day, no severe weather yet as of now. Is there anything we need to worry about for tonight? Let's check in with Justin Fanfarilli in First Weather. Justin?
Yeah, thank you, Christine, and good evening, everybody. Yeah, most of us saw partly cloudy to mostly clear skies out there for the day today. We are tracking a couple of brief heavy rain showers across the area. There is one just to the south of the Fergus Falls area right now. Fergus Falls actually saw some rain, a possible rumble of thunder as the system went through over the past couple of hours. Same thing with Jamestown. That activity has now moved just to the north of the Valley City area. As we see here, no real lightning with this one, and we're also tracking another rain shower with possible thunder in it, now approaching Ramsey County, getting into the Maddock area. Other than that, we are relatively quiet across the area. Temperatures into the upper 70s to lower 80s, especially out toward Fergus Falls and Jamestown. They're seeing some rain cool there. They're near 70 right now, but temperatures will fall into the upper and then mid 60s as we go through this evening, with partly cloudy skies out there, just a few isolated showers and possible thunderstorms this evening. More of the same for tomorrow, and then the chance for some thunderstorms increases. I'll get into that coming up.
Okay, thanks, Justin.
Yep.
Ramsey County Attorney John Choi is bringing in a special prosecutor to help decide on charges in the Philando Castile case. Don Lewis, a longtime civil rights lawyer, former dean of the Hamline University School of Law, and a former assistant U.S. attorney for Minnesota. Lewis is a native of Ramsey County and said he feels honored to join this team, that he felt compelled to take this case on in a time when many view the criminal justice system with anxiety and mistrust.
It is even more critical that the public perceives his decision as fact-based, even-handed, and transparent. And I am committed to helping John and his office achieve these outcomes.
St. Anthony police officer Geronimo Yanez attorneys said Yanez was reacting to seeing a gun. Castile's girlfriend, who streamed the aftermath of the shooting live on Facebook, said Castile was shot while reaching for his ID after telling the officer he had a gun permit and was armed. The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension continues to investigate the shooting. American Blues rock guitarist and singer Shannon Curfman is back home to take part in the Fargo Blues Festival. She's playing tonight. She played on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno and David Letterman and says it's exciting to be back where it all began.
Oh my gosh, it's absolutely my favorite thing in the world. I just, obviously seeing all my friends and family, but there's just a different sort of love, and I have such pride for Minnesota and North Dakota, and you know, the FM region, and I feel that back so much from the audience, and there's just nothing to compare it to.
Kerfman is currently on tour with Kid Rock and his band Twisted Brown Truckers. She joined several acts during the Fargo Blues Festival, including Jimmy Thackeray, the D. Miller Band, Canned Heat, and Blind Joe. We have a schedule of the events posted in this story at valleynewslive.com. Pencils, notebooks, and folders, United Way of Cast Clay is collecting them all to give them to kids in our area. The annual school supply drive is once again getting ready to stuff backpacks full of essentials to start school. Organizers say it's important to remember there are students of all ages who are in need.
You know, when it comes to our school supply drive, it's really fun to shop for those little kids' backpacks, but really all age groups are in need. So you think about those middle schoolers and those high schoolers, about 50% of the supplies went to some of those upper grades. And so if you're thinking about donating, go ahead and buy that fun backpack, but then think about those middle schoolers and high schoolers as well.
This year, the goal is to hand out 5,300 backpacks to students in the area. A new proposal wants to put restrictions on debt collectors. Still ahead tonight, how it could change the way they interact with others.
And the next chance portions of our forecast area will see some severe weather is Sunday evening. We'll get into the full forecast coming up next.
You're watching Valley News Live on TV, online, and on the go. Always on, wherever you are, whenever you need to know. Valley News Live.
Tonight's news is brought to you by Shields.
The wait is over. Hurry on in for the bold, juicy, and savory Subway sandwich. Introducing a masterpiece of awesome flavor. Our steak and cheese sandwich, now with our signature horseradish sauce. Tempt your taste buds with a generous layer of tasty lean steak, crisp vegetables, and rich slices of melted cheese. Then top it off with a can't-wait taste of our new bold horseradish sauce. The horseradish steak and cheese sandwich. Why wait any longer? Be bold. Subway. Eat fresh.
Say hello to the exclusive limited time, limited quantity Northland Edition F-150. It's got a military-grade aluminum alloy body that's tough as nails and MPG that leaves the competition in the dust. Plus, it'll keep you safe and sound behind the wheel. Not to mention a ton of other features built with the Northland in mind. Now for a limited time, get up to $10,831 in total savings. That's up to $10,831. Hurry into your local Northland Ford dealer today.
At Precision, we know regular maintenance of your cooling system just makes sense. It helps prevent untimely breakdowns, extends the life of your system, and saves you money on your power bill.
We built our reputation with that extra attention to detail and competitive rates, always on time and on budget service. That's our promise.
Get a cooling system checkup today with Precision's $99 residential AC tune-up.
Say hello to the exclusive limited time, limited quantity Northland Edition F-150. It's got a military-grade aluminum alloy body that's tough as nails and MPG that leaves the competition in the dust. Plus, it'll keep you safe and sound behind the wheel. Not to mention a ton of other features built with the Northland in mind. Now for a limited time, get up to $10,831 in total savings. That's up to $10,831. Hurry into your local Northland Ford dealer today.
When severe weather threatens, trust the Valley News Live Storm Team.
And welcome back. Here's a look at our tower cam time lapse in Fargo, taking a look off to the west. This morning we saw mainly sunny skies, just a few passing clouds. We had to look off to the east to see more clouds in portions of Lakes Country. Other than that, we just saw partly cloudy skies. The sun warmed us up nicely here in the Fargo area as we stayed dry. Mainly sunny skies now with a temperature at 81 degrees. Comfortable levels of humidity with the dew point at 58. Wind light from the north with Moorhead holding at 79 degrees. And Grand Forks, partly cloudy skies out there with a temperature of 79, just a little below normal for this time of year. Other temperatures show lower 70s. Had some rain out toward Jamestown, Valley City, Langdon, Devil's Lake, mid to upper 70s, near 70. More rain at near Fergus Falls. Other than that, we're into the upper 70s to near 80 as you make your way across Lakes Country. Here's the satellite loop over the last few hours. As you can see from Fargo, points north, mainly sunny skies. Few more passing clouds into Lakes Country. country. We had that brief heavy rain shower and a possible rumble of thunder that moved through Fergus Falls. Now we're seeing some rain just to the south and to the west of the city, and that's another system moved through Jamestown and is now moving just to the north of Valley City right now, and we're still not seeing any lightning with it, but you could see some moderate to at times heavy rain over the few minutes that it's over you out that way. High pressure is in charge of our forecast, working its way away from us, has that nice southerly flow that is pumping in some warm air. We are watching this trough here that is sparking off those rain showers. More high pressures coming in behind that for tonight, and we do have that nice northerly flow behind that. Some spin in the atmosphere today, and here is a photo taken by Diane of that possible funnel cloud that happened just north of Park Rapids around 2:30 this afternoon. So some of the storms actually did produce some funnel clouds. We had another report out toward central and North Dakota. So definitely be wary. We're going to be in the same weather pattern for the day tomorrow. We have those scattered showers possible in the morning on Saturday, otherwise partly cloudy skies. Daytime heating could produce more showers or thunderstorms as we go through later on in the afternoon. These should be non-severe across the area as we go through the day on Saturday, and temperatures should be a couple of degrees warmer compared to today. With the daytime heating gone, the showers and thunderstorms should dissipate as we go through later on into the day for the day on Saturday. Other than that, for the day tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, an isolated shower or thunderstorm is possible, with the Fargo area getting just above 80 degrees for a high. Elsewhere across the region, we see partly cloudy skies with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Best chance of some scattered showers in the morning, and with the daytime heating, possibly later on to the afternoon, some more thunderstorms could develop. Again, these should be non-severe as we go through the day on Saturday. Then for Sunday, we spend most of the day quiet as another weak bubble of high pressure works its way in. But out towards central North Dakota, we could see some development of some showers and thunderstorms. Marginal risk for severe weather as we go through later on into this evening, into Sunday evening, that is, as they exit Minnesota and our viewing area. So definitely watch out for that. Aurora reflections. This is our photo of the day taken by Tracy Hayes in Park Rapids, Minnesota. Thank you for that one, Tracy. Let's use it in the background of the 7-day forecast. There's your slight chance of some storms on Saturday, 40% chance later in the day on Sunday, turning humid with a high of 86 degrees to round out the weekend. Near 90 storm chances for Monday and Tuesday as we stay humid and active. More storm chances for Wednesday, 87. More quiet weather for Thursday and Friday. Temperatures into the low to mid 80s.
Dang, it's nice to have some cold weather, like a little bit chillier aside from the heat wave.
I know, we've seen less humidity. It's still been pretty warm for this time of year.
Definitely. Question for you, Justin. Yep. Do you like chicken wings?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What's your favorite flavor? Like, what flavor do you crave?
I kind of like buffalo chicken wings.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
I like those and Parmesan garlic.
Yeah.
So good. Well, today you're in luck because restaurants are going to be rolling out those big discounts. I'll tell you which businesses is slashing its prices in half. That story's next.
You're watching Valley News Live on KX4, your hometown CBS station.
Our National Suit Drive is on now, and we need your help filling these hangars. This July, bring your gently used professional attire to any Men's Warehouse, and we will donate it to men re-entering the workforce. As a thank you, you'll receive 50% off your next purchase. Give a suit, change a life.
This July, the CR-V-a-thon is on at Corwin Honda. Drive the new 2016 Honda CR-V. 0 down, $269 a month. Tax, title, license included. That's right, 0 down, $269 a month. Tax, title, license included. Corwin's has 75 CR-Vs in stock, but at 0 down, $269 a month, they won't for long. Corwin Honda, family driven for over 100 years. Shop online, corwinauto.com.
From the first building block to the last coat of paint, Menards is here to help with an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices. Whether you're remodeling your house or creating a backyard getaway, you'll save 11% on all of it, so you can finish your latest project and start planning the next big thing. Save big money and get an 11% rebate on everything, even sale prices, now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Say hello to the exclusive limited time, limited quantity Northland Edition F-150. It's got a military-grade aluminum alloy body that's tough as nails and MPG that leaves the competition in the dust. Plus, it'll keep you safe and sound behind the wheel. Not to mention a ton of other features built with the Northland in mind. Now for a limited time, get up to $10,831 in total savings. That's up to $10,831. Hurry into your local Northland Ford dealer today.
Our National Suit Drive is on now, and we need your help filling these hangars. This July, bring your gently used professional attire to any Men's Warehouse, and we will donate it to men re-entering the workforce. As a thank you, you'll receive 50% off your next purchase. Give a suit, change a life.
Closed captioning of this newscast is brought to you by Prairie Windows.
Welcome back. In tonight's Consumer Alert, forget other social media outlets. Facebook's biggest threat right now may be Uncle Sam. Facebook disclosed that it could owe billions of dollars due to an IRS investigation into the way it moved assets to the Irish subsidiary to avoid higher taxes. The tax penalty could total up to $5 billion plus interest. Facebook says it disagrees with the IRS position and will file a petition challenging the notice. An investigator with the IRS says she issued 6 summons last month for Facebook to produce records related to the asset transfer. Facebook failed to comply with those requests. Nearly 1 in 3 Americans face debt collection, and now debt collectors could face some new rules. A new proposal would require collectors to have more documentation to prove a debt is owed. Consumers could no longer receive multiple calls each day from debt collectors, and consumers would have more ability to dispute their bills. Also being proposed, a 30-day waiting period for loans tied to someone who has recently died. The changes would affect only third-party debt collectors. Well, if you love chicken wings like myself, you have good reason to celebrate. Today is National Chicken Wing Day. Some like them hot and spicy, others like them sweet or plain or dipped in blue cheese dressing. But no matter how you like them, Buffalo Wild Wings is offering a deal to celebrate. Today, customers dining in can get their wings for half off at participating locations. And we checked, the Moorhead and both Fargo locations are taking part. It's been a concern outside the country, and now it's here. Health officials believe the first U.S. Zika outbreak is happening now. Details are next.
Dude Walker's Music on Wheels, the wedding dance specialist. The professionals at Dude Walker's Music on Wheels have logged over 7,500 events. We're talking over 20 years of experience. Not just dance music, but video and light shows. Everything from an intimate wedding dance to a large indoor or outdoor event. Experienced professionals who will work with you and play the music you want. Dude Walker's Music on Wheels will travel where the party is. For more information, log on to dudewalker.org today.
It's not just what a 96% satisfaction rating says about us. It's how you feel when you're seen as more than a claim, when your questions are answered by friends and neighbors, whether online, on the phone, or in person. That's how we measure success. This is healthcare, North Dakota style. Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota.
My favorite time of year, when Perkins rolls out the summer smokehouse specials. 8 of my favorite meals, like the Smokehouse Breakfast Trio, loaded up with brisket, sausage, and bacon. Or the Cowboy Burger, piled high with pulled pork and those crispy onion tanglers. And then that Texas two-step brings beef, brisket, and pork together in pure harmony.
It all comes together at Perkins. Craving big flavor and big value? You'll find over a dozen choices on our Great Plates menu from $4 to $8 every day at Perkins.
The world's most important newsmakers are on America's most important news broadcasts. CBS News, original reporting.
In tonight's Healthier Me, it's very likely that the first local outbreak of the Zika virus is in the U.S., and it's happening right now in a small area south of Florida. At least 4 people with the virus in Florida never traveled outside of the country where Zika has been actively spreading. Erica Edwards has the latest on what appears to be the nation's first homegrown Zika outbreak.
1 square mile of land just north of Miami is Florida's Zika area of concern. 4 people there, 1 woman and 3 men, have been infected with the virus. Florida's governor says the cases are likely the result of local mosquitoes. Now scientists are trapping and testing the mosquitoes around patient homes in search of the virus.
While no mosquito traps have tested positive for the Zika virus, the Department of Health is aggressively testing people in the affected area.
Doctors do not expect large outbreaks in this country, but do predict there will be more homegrown cases.
I'm almost certain that we're going to see more. The critical issue is how do you respond to that?
The main mosquitoes responsible for spreading Zika can breed in very small bodies of water, even bottle caps. So health officials say it's important to clear out any standing water. Also, invest in a good bug spray.
Particularly DEET, up to 30%. We need to get over thinking that insect repellent is toxic to us. It's not.
Also Friday, President Obama was briefed on the Florida Zika situation and directed his administration to give that state's governor the support he needs to help fight what appears to be the first local outbreak of Zika on the U.S. mainland. Erica Edwards, NBC News.
The real threat of Zika is to pregnant women and their unborn babies. Zika can cause devastating birth defects. While the CDC has advised pregnant women against traveling to countries where there is active Zika transmission, there have been no travel advisories for Florida. Stay with us. Still to come, we'll have another look at your evening weather planner with Justin.
This is an oven, and it's hot. Not microwave hot, oven hot. This is made from scratch.
The Blueberry Biscuit, only at Hardee's.
Every Amish piece is handcrafted by different Amish builders. The customization in general does not cost any extra money. It's just a matter of the materials being used. All the pieces are warranted for a lifetime. If you have anything as simple as a crack in the wood 10 years from now, it gets fixed or replaced. Some furniture will fall apart in 2 or 3 years. Our furniture is an investment. You won't see any particle board or pressed wood in any of these pieces. Everything is solid wood and built to last. We're now open in West Fargo across from Menards. Stop in and see us.
Say hello to the exclusive limited time, limited quantity Northland Edition F-150. It's got a military-grade aluminum alloy body that's tough as nails and MPG that leaves the competition in the dust. Plus, it'll keep you safe and sound behind the wheel. Not to mention a ton of other features built with the Northland in mind. Now for a limited time, get up to $10,831 in total savings. That's up to $10,831. Hurry into your local Northland Ford dealer today.
With bacon strips, bacon jam, and bacon crumbles, it's a bacon lover's fantasy.
I know what you're thinking, but come on, it's called the Bacon 3-Way Burger. What'd you expect?
The Bacon 3-Way Thick Burger, only at Hardee's.
And we'll see temperatures into the upper 70s and lower 80s for tomorrow. Scattered non-severe showers and thunderstorms are possible as we go through the Saturday. A marginal risk for severe weather in North Dakota counties for later on Sunday into early Monday. And the heat and humidity is back with more storm chances through Wednesday.
Okay, and we've got much more news over on KBLY with Andrea. See you over there.